Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So this part just takes like a second, and then um, it's
Okay.
recording. Yeah, yeah. So and then I have to remember to close the YouTube, which is kind of annoying. So now it's kind of a bit of setup, which is weird because you have to do this setup like once you get into the actual webinar.
Mhm.
So, but anyway, I'm going to share our cool video just to test it anyway and see how uh, this goes. It's our intro.
Okay.
I think that should be fine. It didn't actually. Did you see? I don't, it's like hard to tell. It's like so weird. Like I see there's like my video thing being shared. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go back and see what happens. It's like hard to tell what's actually happening in the webinar itself. It's really weird. I'm just learning how to use this Zoom thing because it
Let me
just
open
shows
up.
you on like the big screen,
Right.
and I'm not sure whether I don't know. Give me a second. I want to make sure I'm figuring out how to. I mean, that's part of the whole goal is to just get this. So I'm going to try sharing portion of the screen. That's this thing. And it shows what I'm doing here, but it's not showing you on the screen. Okay, presenter layout. I wonder if I need to make you like a presenter somehow. All right, hold on a second. Max that up. Okay, that's all that. Now it kind of shows you at the top. Let's see. Spotlight for everyone. Say something. Just say something. It's interesting. Like, can you
Yeah,
put yourself?
well, I can see myself on the top panel.
I don't know. Here, I'm gonna mute this for a second. I want to check something real quick.
Okay. You're mute, so I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I'm still having like a little confused about like what's like happening in the like actual like presentation of this. Like the Zoom stuff that I see on my screen doesn't always. It's really kind of interesting. It's like hard confused. I'm gonna have to practice it quite a bit more. But anyway, I'm gonna share a something with you here. Let me just get to the right place here. I thought I did share this. No, I think okay, it's with your .com email. All right. If you can get into that thing,
Which one are you talking about?
just check your email, and I sent you a link to like a Lucid Spark board.
Yeah, it's just coming. Hold on.
See, it's so weird. Like I can get this really cool view of this thing where it's like I'm down on the bottom and like, but it doesn't. I just don't under remove spotlight. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm in. I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I muted for a second. Okay, so I see you're in there. I'm trying to get so that the actual stream has you on it, and I'm not sure why.
Hmm.
I think it's a layout thing that I have to work on, and I had to do it in advance so that it has two things. So it's fine. I'm not. I think in the recording I'll have your video, but I'm not super worried about it for today anyway because the value of this. So here's what I want to do. Okay, so like we'll just use this as an exercise. So we'll go through this like super quick, okay, and then we'll
Yeah.
just talk through. So we have like 5 minutes to fill in these boxes, okay. And
Hmm.
then what we'll do is we'll talk about each one, and then I can transcribe it and use this in AI to create like a business plan, content about the show, other things like that. Okay. Like we could set
Hmm.
up a notebook LM or do whatever we want to have a space for this. So the
Right.
way it works, what you want to do,
Actually, if you just pull up that WhatsApp message that you send me, it actually has all of it.
yeah, you can refer to that, but there's actually more. So like I want to do this. It's good. It'll help me if we just do the exercise
Hmm. Hmm.
real quick, but I'll just show you how it works. But yeah, you can draw from that if you want to pull it up. But the goal of this is this will get so the vision is kind of the top there. But what you do is just take like put one card in each one of these, right? And
Hmm.
I'll explain what they are. The vision is like the business vision, and the value is the audience and what what value you give to the audience. Awareness is how you get people to like make them aware of what you have to offer. Conversion is like how do you turn them into like customers basically, like what are they going to buy, how are you going to convert that, what resources we need to operate this, like how you deliver on the value that you're creating, what's the monetization model, and then like what are the controls basically. So what you do is you just grab from the left a sticky note and you just put it in, right?
Hmm.
And then just write in there like, so like something like, cross border tech or transfer uh something like just create a card for the vision, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go in, like zoom in on mine here, like uh so crossword to I'm actually gonna create. Just go, go, go. Yeah, you just got to put a. Are you able to drag the note in?
Hmm.
Yeah, and then here I'll make mine a different color.
Yeah, okay. So what's the plan? That we write sticky notes and then what?
What's that?
We put these notes, what happens?
We're gonna just talk. We're gonna talk through all the notes really quickly. So we'll spend the last 10 minutes. Let's just try to finish it, and then we'll talk through the circle, and then that output I'll use that to generate like an AI models and all kinds of things. So you want to just put one like you want to put one thing in each bucket, and the more you can do this, the faster you can create. Yeah, you can. The best thing to do is to try to go through super quick and get one card in each bucket, so you're hitting each different facet of the like business model.
Yeah.
All right, you got two more and then we're done. Quickly, you can get them.
Hmm.
All right, so let's just go through these real quick, and then we're just going to talk like really fast. So we're going to try to wrap up right at the 30-minute mark. So let's just
Yeah.
go through each of these and just kind of say like, I'll start. I'll just kind of say, hey, what this is, and then you say it, and then we'll just go to the next one, right? So to me, the vision
Sure.
is to produce the show as a way to promote and like and share about companies in India, tech companies, and get them into the US market, not just with the show, but also through like supporting activities like distribution, targeted outreach, marketing. And that's that's kind of the idea. Also, not just the show itself is almost more of just like the content production vehicle. So the shows get recorded, turned into these like really rich, authentic content pieces. What's your idea?
Yeah, I think pretty much it. I think the more important for me is to communicate the message for both the audience. One to the scale stage, early stage B2B SaaS companies targeting North America. How do you actually go there? What to expect, what not to expect, that kind of stuff. And secondly, for American companies, the what do they really need to see when they are evaluating Indian product startups for their own consumptions, their own requirements?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. There is like a reciprocal, sort of reciprocal, right? Two sides of this: the India side and the U.S. side, and each one of them are going to got to get this value. The value. I think we've already kind of got into that. To me, it's like exposure to the, for India companies in India, it's exposure to the U.S. And I think you hit on also just the kind of like the the not just exposure, but it's the knowledge or understanding of like how to get more connected to the U.S. market. I kind of missed that, so that was a good piece of value. Yeah, this tier, your cards are like sort of yeah, no, this is it. Go ahead and talk to yours. Yours is the same. Well, I'll speak to it. It's really about helping companies in India acquire US customers, and also like it's saying they kind of break in. I don't know. Do you want to add anything to that one? The
No,
value.
it's mostly about the stage. You could typically want every company wants to go global these days, and it's not by choice. It's basically become a mandatory criteria that companies actually break into the market and acquire customers in a global region. Now, where and when do you start this is a question that they grapple with. And the first and foremost stage is if you don't do 1 million or 1.5 million ARR within your own home territory, you are not ready for expansion for sure. But if
No,
you are
that's a good
doing
point.
about,
Yeah, like
yeah,
India becomes sort of like, hey, this is the test bed. If once you hit a certain point here, provides a kind of validation that and that's a really interesting perspective on this. That makes a lot of sense. And then for awareness, like for us, again, this is about how we're going to create awareness for Sunny Bites. So we're going to produce these shows and we're going to bring people together and share them with lots of people, and it becomes like a content vehicle. um
I
and
think the one
yeah.
thing that I want to add on the awareness side is I want to talk a lot about what kind of engaging content that you can create that will help you for your tofu and your mofu stage, because that's where the glut is. The glut is on your mofu, right?
Yeah, I definitely think there's a follow up, and so like it's sort of like, how do you speak to people, how do you engage people? And yeah, I think you're probably right in the sense that um, getting people to see you and building awareness is kind of mechanical, right? It's like just email a lot of people, but can you follow up and continue to engage them and move them into some kind of conversion process? Yeah, I would agree. So like that's an interesting one because by engaging people on a show like this, we can help like provide or create some kind of authentic middle of funnel type content for them, right? So it's like, hey, like it's not just the like, hey, you should buy our stuff, but it's like authentic. Like, hey, how does this really work? Tell me some stories about. So if we have them come on the show, we'll be helping them produce that kind of content. So I think that's a pretty good point in terms of conversion. Yeah, like you and I are talking about two different things, but I think it's fine. Like for me, I'm like, hey, we want to sell people on the show because we're going to produce content for you and we're going to introduce you to people. And I think you're thinking also about like, okay, then is there a way that we also help people, you know, how do we help get that conversion from MQL to SQL, right? And it's a
Yeah,
topic
yeah, yeah,
I spend a lot.
yeah.
Maybe there's a consultative thing there. Anyway, tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is a very crucial subject here. Uh, you don't progress in your sales process by selling. You progress in your sales process by engaging and learning and co-creating. Essentially, what you learn from your customer is the real reason if your customer is sharing and teaching you is actually progressing and helping you to sell, which means that you actually sort of become like like in the best way to put this would be you are a friend to the customer and
Yeah,
you
it's
are
kind of like getting on the
essentially
same side of the table, right? Like you're sitting on the same side of the table with your customer as a set of,
absolutely.
instead of all cross. Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. It's like how do we build authentic relationships and how do we help the people that we work with to build those kind of authentic, like your customer is like your friend type relationship. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that
So,
that makes
the technical term to that would be um, are you a development partner to the customer? Or is the customer a development partner to you? Or is the customer a vendor or a transaction, sort of relationship that you're in? So, typical relationship would actually mean that you would have transactional documents going up and down under an NDA. But when your customer is your development partner and you're learning and you're building the system like a solution for them, you're sharing onboarding documents, you're sharing feedback document, you're sharing bug fixes document, you're sharing release pipelines, and all of that kind of stuff. Essentially, you're opening up to your customer and say, help me to help you to move forward.
yeah, that's like the customer success kind of approach in a sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
makes sense. So what resources, I mean, for me, this is again, you kind of went more thinking about like your car is more thinking about what resources I guess you're bringing to the Sunny Bites clients, or this is kind of the brewer model a little bit, right? Which is okay, you're talking about local teams, and because that's an interesting one. I mean, do you really envision it's about, because that in this is important, right? Like, okay, that would imply that part of this model is to find partners or relationships where you have access, like how do you bring local, I mean, I'm in the US, right? Ramesh is, but how do you bring local, like how do you see bringing local skills or resources into the mix? Like how would that work?
I think I look for companies that clearly identifies they do not have a PMF in the US and they're willing to go out and learn. If they
Gotcha.
are not willing to learn and they think their product is what it is, I'm sorry to say we are not the right partners
No,
then.
I get you. I see. So your thing is like the local people are like Ramesh, me. You're not necessarily in the U.S., but you have a lot of like kind of like U.S. experience. You're hanging out with lots of people from the U.S., right? Okay, I see what you mean by that. And that's the kind of expertise that we're helping bring, and there's actually, what is interesting, because it does, like there's a lot of, like, if you get into sort of more of a channel sales thing, like, so a lot of the guys that I work, like Gary, Mike H, like they're actually, like, I think your idea of saying, hey, find these like seasoned salespeople that can help facilitate deals is not a bad idea, as long as the lead generation is there, right? Like
Yeah,
sales guys don't generate leads, but they can close deals, right, or whatever. In
that's
terms
right.
of delivery, yeah, like how do you, yeah, it's like, okay, for me, it's like managed campaigns, right? It's like, like the whole idea is like, okay, let's say you have somebody who's going to sign on and buy this service, right? So you're going to say, okay, I'm going to charge you X amount per month, and or whatever, but you're gonna, it needs to be constructed within, say, a campaign, right? So you're like, hey, I'm gonna, at least from my perspective, it's like, I mean, you could also do like retainers, right, where you're saying, hey, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
a broader retainer. I guess I had sort of the idea, like, you'd say, hey, like, we'll produce a content for you, like a show, and then we'll produce
yeah,
content around that, and then we'll produce, and we'll distribute that content for you, and even do like direct messaging related to the funnel, but it's all like on a campaign basis. Um,
right.
but this is
I think
interesting.
I
Like,
think I think the simplest way to put this together would be multiple channels. The first channel is professional network. Second
yeah,
channel is personal network. That's your network, Ramesh's network, and sort of whoever is in the team, their network. And then there is the or ABM kind of activities, account-based marketing kind of activities, and then of course there is the digital campaign that we've been running, right? Similar campaigns that we do targeting a specific audience and so on and so forth. So it's like multiple channels of activities.
no, it totally makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So this outcome as a service or retainer model, yeah, this is how to make money. This is my biggest beef, right? It's like, not with your idea, but like selling marketing services that are outcome based. It's like an attractive way to get people on board. But unless you have like some kind of proven model, and even the thing is that, like, people who offer that, you're like, it can't be real, because then everybody would just sign up and you'd be like, hey, I just, scaled up because I just bought this service. And that, to me, it's
Yeah, I
like,
think the catch there is, though anybody out there, including us, we say that we have an outcome as a service model, but it's purely not outcome as a service model, is because if we do that, there is no skin in the game from a customer
no, I
standpoint.
agree. That's what I'm saying. It's like, at least they need to pay for like some baseline, right? And then you say,
Yeah,
look, obviously we want to take something on the upside. But yeah, if they're not committed and they're not, that's really the issue. It's like, hey, yeah, I'm going to throw you a few $1,000s or something. Or like, yeah, you can go out and get me leads and deals and I'll pay you something. I mean, there's situations where I do that because it has other value for me. Like,
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
or the upside is huge and I'm willing to take the risk. But yeah, like, yeah, no, I feel you. So there's some kind of model where it's like, you got to pay to
yeah,
play, and we're going
yeah.
to run this
So
stuff for
what we do
you.
is very simple. We just let them know if your outcome is, for example, if you want three POCs from us, we're going to charge you for the POC, but you still have to pay 50% of the POC money in advance and the rest 50% upon achieving the POC.
No, yeah, it totally makes sense. And I just had a really cool idea on how I could do this now that I'm like, this is, see, I could build this template with frames for these, and then you can do a slideshow. So I could just pop from slide to slide in here. But it's cool for
Uh-huh.
right now. I'm totally like, this is fine. Cause I can take this video, it'll be kind of nice where I could just pop in here, and then just like, it's easy on the post edit to pick a clip where we just focus on one of these little like frames. So that's
Right.
the thing, like doing this recording, like there's so like, when you step back, you're like, oh wow, like there's so much content in here that I can use. It's insane,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
anyway, in terms of how to, what are the controls or tools, the back, the backstop on this, for me, like, in order to make this whole thing work, you've got to have like, just like any kind of marketing project, you've got to have like you've got to have how would I say, you've got to have like systems and automation and all. You've got to have the underlying stuff, like everything has to
Yeah.
be tracked, right? So you're like, hey, if I run a show for you and we send this out to people, we need to run this in a way where you're like, hey, I can keep track of like the 100 people that we DM'd for you. I mean, you saw how I
Right.
did that with Data Motive. So but yeah,
Yeah.
what you said, optimized all the way, what does that mean?
It's actually the same thing, Govind. It's essentially tracked and optimized and measured in a very clear manner.
Yeah, no, this is cool. No, this is great. We went over 5 minutes over the 30 minutes, but I also messed around a whole bunch. Um,
Yeah.
this is like fun. That's what's like, we should just do this, right? Like we'll keep doing this, like, and then whenever what I'll try to do for next week is work on like a little bit more improvements on the show. You can
Yeah.
come, we'll have like a topic where we can talk more about the show itself, because this is providing a ton of rich marketing material and content that we can use for ourselves. And then
Sure.
whenever we're ready, we can just start inviting other people to the show. Uh,
Yeah.
so
And then,
I'll
as we go along, we can uncover more deeper secrets. How did you win your client? What did you promise? What did you deliver? What did you mess up? All of that stuff.
no, exactly. That would be the ideal thing, is right. We just get like we get them on. We have just a framework where like, and it doesn't even have to be this framework. We can use a different one, but we can say, hey, we're going to do some planning with you, like on the
Yeah.
show. We're going to help you plan, and then because like, and that, yeah, we'll help them plan their go to market or something like that. So that could be an interesting way to do this, because there's so many outputs. I'll share with you, like I'll create a blog article around this. You'll see like
Hmm.
in like another 30 minutes worth of work, you'll have like this entire like insane set of like content materials built around this
Wow.
itself. Yeah, because
Wow.
that's what I realized, especially with, so like, if you can capture the ideas, right? The video, the conversation with AI, it just blows open the door on what you can turn that into. So just, one
Right.
conversation like this is something that I could like, take to, there's just an immense amount of value in it. So no, this is awesome, man.
Cool.
I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna wrap up with our video, just
Yeah.
because we should, and I have to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Share
Yeah.
the video file, and there it is, and there we go. And I love this video, man. The AI stuff is it's just mind blowing today. All right, Sonny, I will see you next week, bro.